Welcome back to Heartbeats Vanity, guys. We have yet another ChrisHansen interview highlights to go over. I will post the creator that is featured today on this interview down below in the description box, so go check out his content, guys. He has a lot of good stuff regarding a lot of people that need a lot of attention being brought to their actions. And let's just get into it. Basically, to catch everybody up to where we're at right now in the interview that I'll be playing in a snippet right after this, is basically asking Rags, aka the person that he's interviewing, about his time as a moderator on the Onision forums. I believe it was one forum actually, but I could stand corrected. I did not catch that part exactly, but I do know that he was a moderator on Onision's forum site. So what's going to be kind of addressed here are the things that would happen on the site that were inappropriate, that were suggestively inappropriate, and so on and so forth. I do know that this topic in this video is not kid friendly, so I just wanted to give you guys a fair warning on that. If you are under the age of 18, please do not watch this video. It is not suggested as a kid friendly video. I just wanted to let you guys know that. We're going to go ahead and go in the first snippet.
And still bears the responsibility of knowing for a fact that he has a young audience. And if you've got a young audience, why on earth would you create an internet forum for such a young audience? I mean, that's essentially like creating a social media for 13-year-olds. It's like creating Facebook for only children. That's essentially what I view that as, and it's very strange. I mean, it would be different, for example, if a creator whose demographics were people in their 30s to then go create an internet forum, because people are going to engage and have conversations and stuff. But there is something a bit strange when Onision, who knows that his fan base are 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 years old, creating a platform for these people to then go into. There's something a bit off about that, and I think that's something to keep in mind.
So you believe that Onision bears responsibility for creating a forum that was essentially, a hangout for young teens, and it was known by adults looking to meet and exchange sexually explicit material with young teens, that they could meet them there and perhaps take them out of the forum and conduct this illegal, potentially illicit activity?
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know how much predators, I can't say that word, undesirables outside of the forums knew about what was going on there. But I'm sure, I mean, I've heard some individuals comment or make comments like, oh, we know that, I've heard that that's the place these people go because they know that Onision has a young fan base, so they will specifically target that place. And I've known people as young as being 11 or 12 years old who have been on these forums. But what I think the most important thing to touch on here is, obviously, it's not the biggest deal in the world to have a lot of toxic behavior going on, so long as it's being moderated and people are being banned and the community is completely against it. But the Onision forums harbored a very toxic community where things were normalized and people were desensitized from things. And for example, the relationship I had with someone older than me, the relationships my friends have had with people older than them,
I absolutely 100% agree that if you're doing YouTube and you're directing your YouTube viewers or your YouTube subscribers to other sites like Discord or a Patreon or a forum, for example, or anywhere else, and you know the demographic, it's in your settings on YouTube. But for those of you who do not have a YouTube channel, there's a big whole list of things, a whole list of where your videos get most viewed, what country, what age group, if they've registered their age on YouTube, watch your videos. And primarily Onision's was at the time children. So the fact that he was leading people to other sites, right? And he was not having the appropriate moderations or hardly interacting with his moderators or allowing individuals that his moderators bring to his attention that are very dangerous for his particular demographic. That's absolutely 100% at the fault of the site owner, the server owner of Discord, whatever it is. You are the server creator. You are the essential person who started it. So everything should be overlooked by you. And yes, while you have moderators and you may not spend your entire day on a particular site, it is still supposed to be addressed by you if you've seen suspicious behavior, bad behavior, or somebody messages you about it, especially your moderator. You do have to make some executive decisions. Do you delete something? Yes. If it's inappropriate, if it's hurt somebody, absolutely delete it. If it's releasing information, you absolutely do delete it. If it's anything like that, you try to moderate your site the best as possible. And it seems like that was very, very, very lacking with Onision's forums. I'm not exactly sure how his Discord is. I've never participated, never will participate. I do have my own server. If you guys want to join it, link in description box below. But it's something that you created, you started. So while you're not there all the time, I completely think that he's at fault for not doing anything about it. Now, if you do something about it, example, like for me on my Discord site, some stuff has happened in my server sometimes. I'm not on my server at all points in the day, but I do take care of things when I see them. That means I'm doing my due diligence as a server owner. Even though I have mods, they also have lives. We have lives. I understand that point, but it just really seems like from what we're hearing here that he has lacked in that as many other things. Maybe it's on purpose. I have a feeling it could be, because of the content that he was receiving from certain individuals. And some of them, yes, were absolutely underage, sending him photos, things like that. I think that he did at the time ignore those things because he was getting content. Like, I know we have all seen the Onision videos where he rates underage girls, and we can't necessarily tell all the ages of everybody in there, but some of them were verified in his servers, on his Patreon, on these forums as underage individuals. That to me is absolutely disgusting behavior and dangerous behavior. And I'm just going to put it out there. It is dangerous behavior to be at such a platform level that he's at on YouTube per se, right? And then do those things like that, get away with it, post those videos and continue on with his platform. To me, I see this as negligent of the site creators. And I'm just being real here because this is not okay to ignore, to let slide by. This is really bad behavior and really disturbing facts.
On a website, onision.co it was at the time. I think it started at about March 2015 and it ran till about the end of the year. So for, I think the majority of that year I was moderating there. But when that website shut down, I then was never made moderator on the next website. He started up the next website months later, but he never gave me that same moderator power back. So I was kind of just left a bit out of it. And that's just kind of how I started slowly backing off as well. At that point as well, a lot of people that I knew, like a lot of the active community and the people I'd made friends with, they were starting to back off as well. So
in these forums,
the worst thing I ever specifically saw, the worst instance I remember from the forums was the thing that happened to Regina. And obviously that's been covered, but I'll tell my version of events that I remember.
Regina, I think everybody knows who's watching tonight is one of the victims who was groomed and in this whole ordeal. And there's some allegations of sexual impropriety online and between Kai and Greg and Regina. And Regina appeared on the show a few weeks ago, but go ahead. How did you come across it?
So it was 2012. I specifically remember it was near the end of 2012. And obviously I had met Regina on the Onision forums. I had been kind of friends. We were never close friends or anything. We had spoken a few times and whatever. So I was well aware of who Regina was. I had nothing against her. I wasn't friends per se with her either. I was also involved with another large group of people on the forums who were very, very toxic at the time. They were involved in a lot of doxing. They were involved in a lot of things that should not have been going on. And I was very desensitized to at the time. One of these people was the person that I ended up dating when I was underage and whatever. So anyway, so what happened was there was a forum moderator and he was a grown man and he was speaking to Regina while Regina was underage, and he was well aware of that. Regina sent him nude images of herself, which he then, for whatever reason, passed on to someone else, who then passed them on to a friend of mine, the person that I was dating at the time, or just after that, I think I was dating them, and they passed it on to a friend of theirs. And the friend of theirs was someone who did not like Regina. And the reason they gave for not liking Regina was that Regina lied about her age. Or their age. I think Regina uses they, them pronouns or whatever. But they said Regina lied about their age. And that's why they didn't like Regina, because Regina was saying that they were 18 or 19 years old, when, and as a matter of fact, Regina was 14, 15 years old. So they said Regina was going to deserve what they were now doing. So what they did was they hacked into Regina's Facebook account, other social networks, went to 4chan, other message boards online, and posted these nude images all over the internet, including on Regina's Facebook page that had thousands of followers on it as well. And they did this because they said Regina deserved it for lying about Regina's age.
What kind of people do this?
Very bad people. that's all I can...
Besides being illegal, it is a horrifying re-victimization.
And that's not even the worst part. I mean, that's obviously so horrible, but I think the worst part was the reaction to this, because the people involved were never ostracized from our community. The people involved were never banned from any website. The people involved remained part of these websites for years to come. Maybe one or two of them faded off into the darkness and we never heard from them again, but equally as many people still stuck around as if nothing had happened. Maybe a couple of people spoke out and said that was wrong, but a couple of months later, everyone was back to normal, thinking, oh, okay, that's what's going on, and it moved on. And it horrifies me to think that actually happened, and that I was friends with the people who did that as well. I mean,
when I heard what had happened to Regina on this forum site when she was much younger, I can't even describe to you how heartbreaking that was. I mean, to have photos released to your personal Facebook. This was one of the worst things I've ever heard as a descriptive account in memory of what had happened to somebody on one of his sites. And I wonder, and this is just my thoughts, did he do anything about it? Did he make a statement? Did he delete the people that were doing this to her later on if it was proven and was obviously caught? Did he care enough about somebody in his community having these type of things released? And why were these type of things talked about in his community without being heavily moderated? That's also something I'm very concerned about in my head. But to go back to what had happened to Regina, what a horrible thing to go through. And girl, if you're watching this video, Regina, I just want to say to you, you are a strong, strong individual. You're a beautiful woman. You are leading the pack along with your other fellow friends in this situation like I've never seen a wave rise before against somebody with actions like this in my entire life. And I am so very, very proud of you. And I know so many people, even in my comment section, on my channel, other places I'm going, like other Discord communities, even my Discord community, all we do is show you guys love. I haven't seen one negative thing. You are doing so great. And just hands down to you for being the survivor that you are with certain things like this that have happened to you. I have a very personal experience with this as well, and I do want to dive into a little bit to give you guys a little more of a context with my relation and why I feel the need to speak out on this type of thing, especially regarding the new ChrisHansen interviews. Recently, I just found out that a fellow community member who dislikes me and fixates on me as a person released some very intimate photos of mine on her Twitter, confessed it, and literally just did a whole bunch of horrible posts about me, which is technically illegal. It really, no matter how she got the photos, no matter how the photos were sent out in the first place, no matter those details, it does not matter when somebody takes your personal photos and posts them to a site like Facebook and Regina's situation, or a server, or a forum, or Twitter, or any public site. That is such a horrible thing to do to somebody. I mean, and illegal. So I relate to this on such an intimate level. I just found out about it too. Like, it wasn't even a month and a half ago that I found out about this. So I'm still feeling very vulnerable, very exposed, very attacked. And like, there's personal information and personal photos of me. Sorry, I'm getting nervous, as you can tell, of me out there right now in a malicious way with malicious intent. And I'm just sitting here like, wow, this could not be any more relatable. I mean, I feel like, yes, it happened a while ago for her, but the pain is always going to be the same. And I'm sure she does feel this way too. I'm always going to look back on this time in my life and think, wow, I feel horrible in so many different ways. And it's not like the horrible kind of way that person gets that they intended me to feel. It's like, because of that person, I feel horrible in like a woman type of way. And that's just how I feel about it. Maybe I didn't describe that the best way. If any of you guys have had an experience like that, and you feel comfortable to share that with us, feel free. I'm clearly having a hard time with my words right now because I'm nervous. Woo! Take a breath, Taylor. Take a breath. But to me, that hit home really hard.
For a couple of years of being around this toxic community, I thought, okay, well, it's not the worst thing I've ever seen. Whereas now look back and it's like, I can't believe they did that, or that I saw that happen. Toxicity, because the question is, why do people allow these things to happen? Because you could ask anyone, is this right or is this wrong? And I'm sure every single person you ask that question to would say that was categorically wrong. It should not have happened. I think everyone would agree on that. But the question is then, why did everyone stand back and not say anything about it? I mean, maybe they said things, but why did no one take a stand? Why did no one demand this person has to be kicked out of our community? Why did people stay friends with these people? That's the question that I have. And I mean, that's something that's very complex. Obviously, that's the human psyche is a very peculiar thing. I'm no expert. But I think a lot of that is to do with the desensitization that I've spoken about already, the toxicity on these forums. I mean, you start off and it's people sending messages to each other saying, go kill yourself, or it's people saying, oh, I hate you. And it's maybe harassment or cyberbullying or whatever at first. And then that goes from there. And it's a little step up to doxing. And it's like, oh, well, now I've released your home address. And it's always a little step above. And the first time you experience that, you think, okay, that's wrong.
As we have you on live, what would you say to him?
I would say hello. I don't know what I would actually say to him. I don't have any words that I would say specifically to Onision. I think everything that I've had to say has been said, and I don't think I need to address Onision directly.
What do you think of him? What do you think happened to him to make him act this way, behave this way, target these people, harass these people? I mean, you see the videos. I mean, he comes right out and aggressively goes after some of these people who have spoken out against him in a very vicious, menacing way. I mean, you talk about evidence. He's given everybody all the evidence they need to label him exactly what he is.
I think it's an ego thing. I think he feels as though he's untouchable. I mean, it's back to that desensitization thing I talked about earlier, where after there's been 5 times, I mean, people have said this is the end of Onision. We're canceling Onision for like the last 10 years. I mean, this has been an ongoing thing. So to him, it's a new cycle of news. And now it's you who's at the sort of the spearhead of this part now, this part of the investigation. But in his head, it's nothing he hasn't seen before. It's nothing he hasn't recovered from before. He's heard Onision's been cancelled. He's heard it's the end of Onision a million times before. So to him, he's not worried because it's the same thing again. I mean, it is a bit more severe this time. There is a lot more attention on this. There is a lot more severe accusations and severe criminal charges being looked into here. But in principle, he has been through this similar thing before.
He was deplatformed at Patreon.
Mm-hmm.
How bad do you have to be deplatformed at Patreon?
I don't believe you actually have to be that bad to get deplatformed on Patreon. It seems like they've got a strange policy over there at Patreon. Sometimes they'll deplatform one person for something very minor, whereas another time it might take a lot to get someone deplatformed. I'm not entirely sure how they enforce the rules, but I've seen some shady sort of bannings being done there, and I've seen other very good ones done. So I don't know how much I can speak to the effect of how bad he has acted to be banned there, because I'm not sure that the severity was really what happened there. It's like Twitter, for example. He was doxing Billy on Twitter, and that's why he was banned from Patreon. Twitter, in comparison, they only handed out like a 10-hour suspension or something, so they banned him for 10 hours. So I think that shows you that Patreon are maybe more strict than Twitter are when it comes to something like doxing.
He's still on YouTube.
Yeah, he is.
Making money. What does that say to you?
It says to me that the people in the high places, obviously, they don't care, or they don't think that there's a ban there to be made. They don't think it's justifiable. I mean, what I would say is look at their policies. I don't know if there's anything specifically in their policies that they can ban him for or not. That's not saying that whether he should be on the platform or not, but I'm sure there has to be a policy on there that he has broken. I mean, just the amount of things he's been through. I've not looked through their policy. I mean, currently they've got this new harassment policy,
right?
That's just been introduced. So I would say that a lot of his videos certainly go against this harassment policy.
The Bureau had Onision on its radar for some time. And the fact that we have brought these victims forward has only given it more urgency in terms of an investigation. And I will have a lot more information that I'm able to talk about next week and the week after when it comes to that.
So overall, I thought this was a very good interview on ChrisHansen tonight, and Bragg did a absolutely amazing job. His channel, again, like I said, is linked below. Some of the topics that were discussed were some of the behaviors that were allowed by Onision in his forums. I'm sure that across the platforms, he's no different. That is my opinion. And also, because I'm not in his platforms like Discord, or I've never been a Patreon, I don't know for sure, but the stories that are coming out and the proof that is coming out against what takes place to me is undeniable. The actions I have seen him co-sign, I believe, in my opinion, are for specific reasons: to get content, to talk to individuals, certain types of individuals that he likes, that he fixates on. And that is all just behavior that I do not think is, and I know many of you guys here in this video that are viewing this and on my channel agree, that is just not something that should ever be allowed ever in any platform: YouTube, Twitter, Patreon, Discord, any kind of platform should allow this type of behavior to happen. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I wish you guys all the best in this holiday season, whatever you celebrate. Kiss the stars. Oh, and don't forget, if you guys like my content, subscribe. If you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up. It really helps out. Getting the message out is the best thing that we can do to help this wave rise. And if you guys want to be one of the first people to get notified when I post a video, click that little bell button and click notifications turned on. That way you're notified every time I post. And also, like I said, don't forget to go check out the link in the description box below for the content creator that was featured on ChrisHansen's channel. Subscribe to him as well. Thank you guys again so much for being here.